Okay, for those of you who saw Nathaniel Scott's video of the last session that I had at my old home recording studio, that whole thing was done in about a 4-hour session. And we wanted to get all the instruments done. Voice we can do at any time because I don't really have to have a full studio going to do vocals. Before I get on to that, I want to show something real quick here. There was a little bit of slop in the drums there, and I might be able to live with that by itself, but there were some squawks from the guitar that shouldn't be there. After the end of the song, we re-recorded the drum solo section, and I'm going to splice that over the main section. I couldn't just punch in a correction because it would be almost impossible to do that right without ruining what came after it. What I'm going to do first is wind to where I want the splice to take place. Alright, right there. I'm going to keep that first part of the drum solo, and I'm putting a mark here on the bass drum hit right over the repro head. Most people use grease pencil, but I use a Sharpie because I'm afraid of leaving a lot of residue. Now I've gone to the end of the solo. I'm going to find where I want to make my other cut. Okay. I think I got it. Before I move on to the next part, I want to make sure that my hands are clean because even the slightest bit of dirt on my hands will contaminate the tape. I'm going to use the 45-degree angle. The reason for that is it will allow for a little bit of crossfade between the old take and the later take. Splice. Okay, right here. Okay, that's where my other splice point is. Okay, back to the 45 angle again. I should also note that I had to degauss this razor blade before using it. And the reason for that is if it has a little bit of magnetism to it, then you'll hear a click. Here's my end splice point. Insert the tape here. Make sure the tape is nice and even between the points on the block. I'm using my fingernail to get out as much of the air as possible. Otherwise I can have a disastrous problem. I can pull this apart and not really leave any residue on the tape. But the longer that splice sits, the harder it will get. So any changes I want to make, I better make them now. So one thing I wanted to do on this project, or Ryan and I equally wanted to do, was have some backwards tape effects in here. Basically just make a bunch of noise and reverse it, put it on the tape backwards so it'll be inserted into the solos and just be a huge mess of sound. Previously the guitar and drums have been recorded on track 3, bass on track 4, organ on track 1, leaving track 2 open for vocals. So for the backwards tape effect, we had to do everything the opposite, and then when I splice it into the tape reversed, then everything will be on the same track as it was originally. Okay, I'm pretty much done editing here. I'm just going to take a listen to